What's up, guys? Peter from Panda here. Hey, I bought myself this mini alcohol burner stove, and it's for camping. And the cool thing about it is, it kind of burns clean because supposedly it burns alcohol, preferably rubbing alcohol, I think. And I wanted to show it to you. Actually, when I got it, it was actually quite a bit smaller than I expected it to be. You can see how small it is here in my hand. So I kind of expected it to be a little bit larger. Comes in this little nylon pouch here, and the whole unit itself. Looks like there's some instructions with it too. Is no bigger than like a kind of an espresso cup, a small teacup, So it comes in plastic here. Looks like these arms for supporting your pot rotate out here. Not exactly sure. Oh, you kind of pull them down. There's a little detent on the bottom, so you've got to pull them out of there and then rotate them. And then the detent will hold them in place, so you don't have to worry about them kind of rotating around. So you pull it out, rotate it, kind of snaps into place. They're a little bit loose. The detent is a pretty wide slot there, and then this cap comes off. Everything's wrapped in plastic, so we'll open all this up. So this cap there, and looks like the bottom here is more of a stand, wire stand. And the alcohol reservoir itself, it's kind of like this stainless steel cup. Looks like I could drink out of it. So what it appears that at the bottom, and it might not be the easiest thing in the world to see there, is that it's kind of a double walled unit, and the inner wall does not go all the way to the bottom. So you can see there's a little bit of an opening at the bottom. So if I pour an alcohol here, that alcohol vapor is available all the way up the side here. And so I kind of light it right here where these holes are, and then you should get some kind of like stove burner flames coming out. Now, I don't think you put the cap back on. I think you use it to extinguish the whole thing, because it's going to cover those holes. And I will double check that here on the instructions, which all look to be in Chinese. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I read the instructions, and as you might expect, a little bit of broken English there, but should be able to work. Now it says use rubbing alcohol only, and here's my philosophy of use issue with this is, if you're going to take this on a camp out, I do like the small form factor, but if you're going to carry fuel, why not just carry white gas or something like that you're going to cook with, right? I mean, why carry rubbing alcohol separately? So it's kind of a struggle a little bit with the point of it, but I think anything like a 200 proof should work just fine. Rubbing alcohol is probably going to be your best bet. So one of the things they say is that you have to fill up the thing halfway filled with alcohol. So I'm going to bring up the fill there halfway. See if we can get this sucker lit now. Without burning myself there. Looks like it's going. Might not be the easiest thing in the world to see, but it's actually lit. You can maybe see a little bit of flame kind of dancing off of the top of the alcohol there. I think it kind of takes a few minutes for it to settle in, and maybe for flames to come out of the jets on the side. Looks like there's about 18 of them. But in the meantime, we can kind of let it burn. I do have a pot of water here, and so I'm just going to set this on top, and so we can see if in fact we can get it to cook the water. As you look there, it's like maybe it's settling a little bit. Like I said, because of the light, it's a little hard to see. You can see more of that heat distortion than anything else. So I guess, while I'm impressed with how small this device is, and obviously it's creating a flame, and it's creating a fairly clean flame. You could almost use this inside something if you needed to, although I'd be worried about how much oxygen consumption it was using. You can certainly cook with it, and you can carry alcohol with you, so it would be fairly safe, maybe safer than white gas or other pressurized fuels. But I guess my issue with it is that if I'm going to take something on a backpacking trip or a camping trip and need something small, I'd rather take one of the wood burning stoves, because at least I know the fuel is going to be wherever I'm going to be, as opposed to carrying a limited amount of rubbing alcohol and maybe potentially running out of it. So I think this is a pretty good test, because it's, like I said, it's cold out today, it's windy out, and so this is maybe a pretty real world example of how these things are going to work. But it's presumably if you have some shelter, if you're in a cabin, maybe you've got a really nice wind block, these will work even better. So there it is. It certainly looks like it's heating the pan up, starting to show a little color distortion, and you can see the heat curling around, and you can even see maybe a little steam coming off the water, and that's because it's pretty cold out here. So definitely think it would work, and you could certainly cook off it. So as long as you're willing to carry this little stove and some rubbing alcohol and some matches, you should be in pretty good shape. Peter on Panda. Out.